women, including myself, would be able to overcome major circumstances. 2015, I was faced with one such circumstance. Have you ever watched your life flashed before your eyes? Believe me, it's not pretty. The headaches started slowly at first, and they built, and the migraines became so extreme and uncontrollable. By September of 2015, I was in my doctor's office, and she did what most doctors do. She gave me lots of pills. I kept going to work, but nothing was helping. On November 6th, 2015, I was driving home. I was on the phone with my brother. The pain was so excruciating that I felt like my head was going to explode. The tears were rolling down my face. I got home. I sat on the couch. That night, I blacked out. 3 days later, I blacked out again. So, the doctor in the emergency room, he said, "Miss Irons, I think that it's time for you to be still. You're not going to be able to work. You won't be able to do what you've always been doing." And I thought, is he serious? I mean, I'm an assistant principal. I'm a single mom. I have a child to raise. That's not a possibility. So for an entire year, the doctors poked and prodded me. MRIs, spinal tap, multiple medications, panic attacks, therapists. They did it all, but the headaches just would not subside. Finally, one of my doctors, he said, "Miss Irons, you know, we can't help you anymore, but maybe you should try some synthetic marijuana." Yeah, chuckle. I kind of looked at him, I'm like, "Do you know where I'm from?" "Hello, I'm Jamaican. If I want real marijuana, I'm just gonna go get some. Synthetic is not gonna cut it." So, he said, "Well, I have another suggestion. There's a doctor in Virginia who performs special surgeries for people like yourself." Because I had been diagnosed with bilateral occipital neuralgia and chronic migraines, intractable migraines. I mean, I couldn't just have one thing, I had to have two things. So I said, "Okay, God, listen. At this point, I'm over the doctors. If this is what you want me to do, if you want me to live in pain for the rest of my life, I'm good. I can do it. But please do not send me to not one more person that cannot solve my problem." So I tried to make a deal with God. So I said, "God, first things first. If I call this office and I cannot get an appointment immediately, then this is not the doctor for me." I called the office. I got an appointment right away. So I said, "Okay, God, listen. If this doctor, if I can't get there on time, because it's in Virginia, I am directionally challenged people. If I can't get there on time, then this is not the doctor for me." I was 30 minutes early on the Beltway driving to McLean, Virginia, no traffic. Don't even ask me. So I said, "Okay, well, God, you know what? If I go upstairs to this appointment and this doctor is mean and the people in the office are just nasty, then this is not the doctor for me." Okay, I get there. "Hi, Miss Science, good morning, how are you? Welcome to our office." I'm like, "Okay, God, now you're just showing off." Finally, I said, "Okay, God, if this surgery is going to cost a lot of money, then he's just not the doctor for me." At the end of my appointment, he said, "Miss Irons, I wish you would have came here earlier. I want you to know that the surgery is $30,000, but in this office, we take $16,000 off. All you have to do is come up with $7,000 for your initial payment so you can have your surgery." And I was like, okay. So I had to swallow my pride, me, and ask for help. On February 28, 2017, I had peripheral nerve surgery. And now I am able to be free to do what I want to do. I'm retired. I get to say yes to the things I want to say yes to, and no to the things that I don't want to deal with. And if I can do that, then every woman, every woman can learn to persevere, push through, and overcome all of the challenges in their life and learn to love their lives too. Thank you.
I didn't know how to keep my traditions and my culture alive because I thought I had to be American. I had to sound American. I had to dress American. I would be by myself and practice speaking because I didn't want to have an accent. I didn't want to stand out. I want people to know where I'm from. So I would be in the mirror practice. I was like, oh God, I have to try to sound real American. And when we were little in Belize, we would have games where we would play and we would practice to be American. And we would sit around and talk to each other in American and thought it was the most wonderful thing. So that's what I did. I immersed myself in the American culture, and even I would call home sometimes and my mother would be like, talk Creole. Why are you talking American? You know, and she thought I was forgetting who I am. She thought I was forgetting about them, about their culture, and I didn't know how to do it. And the moment that changed, I was working a flight, and this Indian family boarded the plane. Grandma, mom, dad, two small kids, and grandma was dressed fully in her Indian attire, and they were happy, and I thought, wow, how can they still maintain all that culture and tradition living in America? I thought, couldn't do that, and that's when I made up my mind that once I had kids of my own, I wanted them to know all about who their mother was, where she came from, the things she did. I immersed them in my culture. I told them stories after stories. I cooked Belizean food at home. I just did everything that I did growing up because I wanted them to experience it. And the moment I knew I was doing something right, a cousin of mine told me one day, she's like, Racquel, I am so proud of you that you started introducing your kids to your culture from such a young age. She said, I never did that with mine. My kids grew up Americanized. I never told them about my history, my culture. I never cooked those kind of foods for them. So much so that when I took them to Belize for the first time as early teenagers, she said they were miserable. They complained about the heat, they complained about the living conditions, they didn't like the food, they said there were no malls for them to go to. She said she was embarrassed, but she blamed herself because she never introduced them to that kind of, the culture. And she said, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you found a balance. And I'm so glad I did. I told myself, Racquel, being an immigrant in this country doesn't mean you have to lose yourself. It doesn't mean you forget where you came from. It just means you're adding to this country. I am grateful for the people that I have met here, the experiences that I've had, the opportunities that I've been given. But I also remember where I came from. Belize built me. America has just enhanced and continue to make me into the woman that I am today.
Keep myself together. He's in the gym, he go cut up. I'm like, okay, who is that? I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing. I'm trying to act like I'm not looking. So after a while, we're both working out, and he comes over to me and he says, you did good. Give me a pat. I said, whatever. He's trying to holler. So we get to talking, we go out on a date, we get engaged, we get married, okay? We get married, and it's a wonderful courtship. I'm super excited. I'm telling all my family members, I met this man, and we're talking about what we do, and we're sharing, and he says to me, you're so talented, you need to read the NAACP. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to have your own thing. You're not supposed to work for nobody. I got to pay my bills. Where do I get my money from? So he says, you're not supposed to work for nobody. So I say, okay. So he says, well, I'm ready to go get started. He goes. So I dance, and I model, and I do public speaking, and I train girls in etiquette. This are all things I've been doing since I was a little girl. I did pageants, a pageant coach, just really empowering girls. And dancing and enjoying the arts. And my husband at the time, he goes and finds a place. And he said, I found this place, already got hardwood floors, already got mirrors. What you gonna do? I said, okay, I'll just do that on Saturdays. He said, no, come on now. We took all our money out of the bank that we had. We put a down payment on this place. We leased the building. I had no one. No one. I said, well, I'm gonna have an open house and registration. 5 students signed up for my open house and registration. Yeah, so I'm working my job and I'm working. And fast forward about 5 years in, it starts growing. And I have a job, and this job, the principal at this school that I was working with really starts getting on my nerves really, really, really bad. Yeah, she don't like me. And it was new because I never had a job where my boss didn't like me. It was new and it was very troubling. It was hard. And I was upset. And one morning I said to him, my boss doesn't like me. He said, well, won't you tell me you're not coming there no more? So what we gonna do? You're gonna do Studio A. Right. You're going to do Studio A. That business that you started 5 years ago, you're going to do Studio A. You tell her you're not coming anymore. And this was, that was 7 years in. He said, you tell her you're not coming anymore. So you know me, I go to the job, I tell the lady, I don't like you, let me come. And thank God for his prayers and my belief that I could do it. That was 18 years ago. I started Studio A 18 years ago, and today I am in full-time business with not only Studio A Randallstown, but Studio A East with over 250 students. He's telling me this, I'm praying, I'm like, Lord, I'm scared, I'm praying, Lord, I'm scared. But I knew God sent my mother. And he sent my father, and he sent this man, not only for me to grow, but for me to change my life and change a whole bunch of other lives. So now Studio A, we are raising the standards of excellence by helping people shoot for excellence and nothing less. We're developing character, confidence, charm, and charisma in every student that walks through our doors. We are awarding scholarships to all of our juniors and seniors. We have already awarded over $400,000 in scholarships. Yeah, we are making a difference because God said we could, and because I have the power to believe and walk in faith. So I want you to walk in faith because you're special, and you're special, and you're special. Your story might not be the same as mine, but you are called to do something special. And I want you to walk out on faith and find your purpose and walk in your purpose. God bless you. Regional championship competition team. We compete all over. We competed for 5 years. And these are my dancers. The dance was choreographed by my daughter, Carver. And